I hate bleeding brakes. I can't tell you how much I hate bleeding brakes. I grew up in the country, and whenever it came to bleeding brakes, it was the usual. Pump it 3 times or 10 times or 20 times until you get feel. And then, if you're lucky, you've got somebody underneath the truck with a wrench to turn it and let it bleed and spit out a little bit of fluid. So you finally got brake pressure. Next day, you go out there, you put your foot on the brake pedal, and it goes to the floor. I hate bleeding brakes. I'm always trying to find some way to get around the problem. And I've kind of been running behind. I didn't have great brakes on there. That's got to have brake work on it. That truck up there on the hill, it had brake problems for about 15 years. I finally got lucky and whooped it. And I got an old Willis down there in through the trees with a hydraulic brake system on there, and I hate bleeding brakes. I can't tell you. Have I mentioned how much I hate bleeding brakes? Okay, well, guess what? Just tried something I really dig. On this car here, one of the reasons why I didn't drive it at Ardmore was because I hadn't had the brakes bled. And I've been kind of wondering about a reverse brake bleeder system. Instead of trying to send it all the way down through here, down the line to there, I've always wanted to push the fluid back up through the line uphill and send the bubbles back up, the air bubbles back up into there. I know that sounds crazy, but if you'll watch a straw or fuel lines, clear fuel lines will show you that the fluid will travel right past the air fluid, the air bubble, and go straight to the target. So there's no real guarantee that you're bleeding the air out of the brake lines. It's a great idea. And if you get lucky and it works, then it's the way to do it. And if you mess up and you don't get it done, well, then you didn't try hard enough. Well, that's bull. I feel like there should be one way to do it every time. Okay, so let me show you what I've done. I checked into my Speedway Motors, and they have got what's called a brake and clutch bleeder. Okay, everybody's got one on the market, but here's the neat one. This is called reverse fluid injection. Yes, it works, but it's not just reverse fluid. You got several different ways. You can do it the old-fashioned way. You can do it the old-fashioned way. This is the instructions here. There's quite a different options actually, and a bunch of different adapters. I didn't care about any of that. I cared about reverse bleeding. But there's several different kinds of ways that you can do this, and this even works on regular street vehicles as well. But on the simple reverse bleeder thing, here's what you get. And I don't do this for money. I don't do this. This is so that you'll know. I'm trying to help. Here's what you get. You have to get the big tall bottle of brake fluid. But if you look there, there's an adapter. It's got ridges on it, and it catches on the inside of that bottle, and it holds that hose on there. Hose winds around, and that leads you to this little vacuum gun, and it pulls right out there, pushes it right through there. And you'll want to work slow, and you want to make sure that all these connections are tight. You want to make sure that bottle's full, but make sure this right here is tight too. This slips up in there like an airline fitting, and then you have to tighten it down. There's a little brass piece in there. There's a little brass piece right here inside that clamps it. Anyway, you hook that up to your little brake bleeder. Now, of course, you're going to have to back your brake bleeder off about a half a turn or a turn, but you plug it in there. Anyway, I pushed it in there. I pumped the fluid in there, really not knowing exactly what to expect. I had the lid off of the master cylinder, and slowly I watched the brake fluid level come back up. And as the fluid is filling up, just like inside of a canister or whatever, you know the air bubbles go up with it. I heard a little burble, a little gurgle. I pumped it a few more times just to make sure, down there on the reverse bleeder. And then I tightened everything up, popped my lid back on, just to keep the crap out of there. And guess what? I got brakes. That one little annoying air bubble that gets stuck in the airline somewhere that you can't get rid of. This is one way to look at it. There's one way to deal with it. I don't have the model number on it, but it's from Phoenix Systems. It's called, and if you look right here, brakebleeder.com. This one right here, I don't know, it's got a lot of hype that comes with it, like buy the secret weapon used by the pros. Well, I know one thing, this thing works. It also comes with a DVD. This will show you how to work it every time. Yeah, I know it's got that guy from TNN on there. I don't ordinarily just believe everything I hear, but this one right here, this works. This works really good. It'll be brakebleeder.com if you want to go check their stuff out. I probably will. Anyway, it's called the Reverse Bleeder System. And there's the number on there. I think that's the number that they go by if you were to get it from Speedway Motors. Speedway Motors. Speedy Bill. And it's out of New Zealand. Excellent product.